my queen, my queen. Oh, she, oh, she. Beautiful, wonderfully made. She's heaven's angel, so strong, even in struggle, yeah. When life comes like a storm from every angle, she rises above it all, the backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, yeah, and Jesus too. Oh, she's sophisticated, strong, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful, educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen, she's a queen. You better treat her like a queen. Oh, oh, Her strength is amazing. Life inside, 9 months she's carrying back to work, 'cause the family she's carrying. Society don't give her just due, but she prevails and stands tall, a champion, a true woman. But nothing compares to all she do, yeah. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue, yeah, oh. And where would we be without you, yeah. You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, and Jesus too. Oh, she is sophisticated, strong, yeah, simply amazing, humble, oh, honest, and helpful. Not only that you are educated, yes you are, eccentric, empowering. You're mine, she's a queen. You're mine, you're my. Treat her like no hello, 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 hello. This is RC Blakes, and I want to welcome you again to another Let's Talk with RC Blakes. Please, please, please invite as many people as you can to come into this conversation tonight. This is going to be a good one. As you probably know by now, we are preparing for Queenology 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia. This is happening in August. Don't make me tell the wrong dates now, but y'all know it's the end of August. And I'm excited about meeting all of the ladies and the gentlemen from literally around the country and the world. And so I thought, with Queenology quickly approaching, that we would start doing periodically some Queenology type content. And if you didn't know, Queenology is the movement that my wife Lisa and I have launched in the world, and women from around the world follow this message, have this book. We have the online programs at rcblakes.com, and there are tenets or principles that we teach in Queenology that empowers a woman to live her best life, what the world calls a high-value woman. We call a queen-conscious woman. But queen-conscious women live by certain principles. They're not women that are given to impulse, not women that are given to following trends or fads, but queen-conscious women are women that live by certain principles. And the principles, the 5 principles or the 5 tenets of a queen-conscious woman are self-awareness, which speaks of the woman's identity. The second is self-mastery, which speaks to the woman's self-discipline. The third is self-projection, which speaks to the woman's confidence and the way she chooses to show up in the world. Number 4 is self-sufficiency, which speaks to the woman's independence. And then the 5th tenet is self-actualization, which speaks to the woman's manifestation, how she actualizes or manifests everything that God has put uniquely within her. And so today, if you don't mind, I want to unpack these 5 tenets. Now, a tenet, again, is a principle or a belief, especially one of the main principles of a philosophy. Queenology is a philosophy, right? Queen consciousness is a philosophy. And let's start with number 1, self-awareness, which speaks to the woman's what? Identity. Now, there are, and you might have received, if you're on my mailing list, you might have received this declaration that we have the women to make under self-awareness. I'm going to read it for you in just a second. But when you think about the world today and the way women are showing up in the world today, How many do you think are truly self-aware? Percentage-wise, just kind of put some numbers in the chat if you're watching, on a platform that allows you to chat. How many percentage-wise do you think in the world today are really self-aware? Or do you think that, and I'm careful to say these things, but I got to say it. Do you think that many women, I won't say most, but many women are kind of living their lives, governing their lives based on how the majority of other women think and feel? When you see, women going to the extreme with cosmetic surgeries, when you see, well, I got to say it, BBLs that have gone completely wrong, and women have no clue that they have, disfigured their bodies, the one that God gave them. And then you hear men saying, we don't even like that. Where are women getting the idea that what I am is not good enough, and so I need to do this to my body to add value to myself? Well, a lot of times women are getting that kind of misinformation from one another. It's kind of like a group text where women with broken consciousness. And what is broken consciousness? Broken consciousness is when a woman does not have a grasp on her true value, her true worth, or her beauty, or anything that the Creator has uniquely given her. And when a woman has broken consciousness, she is easily influenced by things outside of the Creator and outside of herself. And she does things to try to add value to herself, not realizing she's diminishing, or she is mishandling the unique gift that God has made her to be in the earth. So, if I were to put a number on how many women in the world today are truly self-aware, I think that number is probably less than 20%. And I'm being generous right there. Because when you see how women have bought into even going on social media or public platforms and revealing themselves completely, sometimes completely naked. Is that a woman that's self-aware? Does she know that she is the prize? When you see women that are hitting one knee and proposing to a man, oh my God, that gets on my absolute nerves. That gets on a man, gets on her knees, and she asks a man to marry her. Is that a woman that's self-aware? Is that a woman who really knows who she is based on the Creator's estimation? Or is that a woman that's clueless, and now society, with all of its various, with all of its rhetoric and its perverted philosophies, gets an opportunity to reprogram a queen to believe that she's a slave? Even in this book here, we start this book off, each chapter starts with a story about a king and his daughters. Long story short, king left away for war, and he left his wife, the queen, and his children. Something happened to his wife while he was gone. She died, and his children were left, the young princesses were left in the hands of the servants,
who didn't believe the king would return. They thought he would die. So the servants miseducated the young princesses to believe that they were the servants and that they were second-class citizens. And so these girls lived like they were the servants. They were actually royalty, but they lived like they were second-class citizens. And when the king returned, surprisingly, he discovered what was done, and he had those servants that miseducated his daughters, he had those servants killed. And then he sat down and he began to teach his daughters the ways of queens, who they really were or are. That's where we come up with queenology, the study of queens. But how many women today have been misinformed to believe that, you know, you're not the prize. You're not worthy of this. You're not worthy of that. You don't look good enough. You need to change this about yourself. You need to change that about yourself. And now it's playing out in the way you behave and in the way you show up in the earth. But when you come into a queen consciousness, a queenology state of mind, it is then that you become self-aware, and there's then a congruency between your mind, who you really are in your spirit, and what the Creator has defined you as, right? And so self-awareness, which speaks to identity, is the first principle in the process of, or in the tenets, the 5 tenets or the 5 principles of queenology or queen consciousness. Now, here's the declaration that the queens make. And if you're on my mailing list, you should have these. It reads like this: my identity is in my relationship with God and my understanding of myself as an individually gifted woman. I am not defined by what I do, what I have, or who I am with. I am a single, distinct, and limitless individual. So notice the emphasis on individual at the end. So many women, because of a lack of self-awareness, really believe that they have to be in a relationship to be of any value. And here's the reality. You have to be an individual to qualify for a relationship. You can't show up to a relationship with half of you. You have to be a whole you to create an us. U-S, you get it? Got to be a whole you before there can be an us. Now, self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal growth and development. It begins with understanding one's self beyond the superficial layers of societal roles and expectations. Philosophers like Socrates emphasized the importance of self-knowledge, encapsulated in the famous dictum, "Know thyself." Now, this ancient wisdom underscores the necessity of recognizing one's intrinsic value and purpose, which is not contingent on external factors, but deeply rooted in one's relationship with the Almighty and one's awareness of one's inner self. You see, when a woman is not self-aware, her focus is on her external factors. But when a woman becomes self-aware, her focus is on her inner self. Now, The Bible says, I love this particular text, in fact. The Bible says in Psalm 139:14, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that right well. I know that completely. I know that full well. Can I get you to say with me right now, wherever you are, if you're in a place where you can actually speak, if not, just think it to yourself or say it under your breath. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, just as I am. Come on, say it. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, just as I am. Listen to what Genesis 1:27 says. So God created mankind in his own image, man and woman. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. You are in the image of God just as you are. Come on now. The only thing you need to strive for is the best version of your authentic self. All you need to strive for is the best version of your authentic self. Anybody that comes into your life and tries to convince you that you need to change this, you need plastic surgery, you need to lose weight. Number one, let me tell you something. Most of us, at least in the United States of America, we can afford to lose weight for health purposes, right? Most of us don't feel good about ourselves at whatever weight we are, be it too small or too large. But nobody else outside of you has the right to come and tell you you need to lose weight, unless you're talking to your doctor. And your doctor's talking to you about medical reasons. But anybody that's trying to gain entrance to your life and says to you, well, if you lose weight, you'll be better, you'll be a better man, you'll be a better woman, is a person that does not deserve another moment of your time. When you make up your mind to lose weight, don't try to lose weight for nobody else. Don't go down there to no plastic surgeon getting stuff stuffed into you and pulled out of you and all of this kind of stuff, trying to win somebody else's approval when you are self-aware, you are self-approved. I love what Ralph Waldo Emerson says. He says, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Just be authentic. To be yourself in a world that's constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Socrates himself said the unexamined life is not worth living. Examine your life today. Look at your life and see, pay attention to just how self-aware am I? Just how self-aware am I? Or am I being puppeted by a perverted society? Am I allowing the toxic sisterhood or misogynistic men to steer my life because I'm not aware of who I am? Let me go back to the tenet, and I'll move to the second one. My identity is in my relationship with God and my understanding of myself as an individually gifted woman. I am not defined by what I do, what I have, or who I am with. I am a single, distinct, and limitless individual. Now, tenet number 2 is self-mastery, second principle of Queen Consciousness, which speaks to what? Your discipline. Queens are disciplined. Queens are what? Disciplined. Self-mastery is the disciplined control over one's own behaviors, one's emotions, and one's desires. Now, here's how the profession or the declaration reads. I am in possession of myself. No one has access to my controls. I am mastering my emotions, relationships, sexuality, spirituality, and financial choices. Did you hear that? I am mastering my emotions, my relationships, my sexuality, my spirituality, and my financial choices. Think about those things that I just rolled out there relative to self-mastery. If women actually mastered their emotions, if women actually mastered their relationships, if women actually mastered their sexuality, if women actually mastered their spirituality and their financial choices, wow, what kind of womanhood or sisterhood would we see in the world? The greater problems that we see with women are due to the fact they are not mastering their emotions. They do not master their relationships. They do not master their sexuality. They do not master their spirituality, and they do not master their financial choices. It is the exercise, when you think about self-mastery, it is the exercise of self-regulation. Let me see if I can just dig in right here, because y'all looking at me like y'all. It is the exercise of self-regulation and the conscious effort to align one's actions with one's values and goals. Self-regulated. How many women are triggered? And a man finds out where your triggers are, and a man puppets your life by way of your triggers because you're not self-regulated. How many women are desperate for certain things, and a man figures out what you're desperate for, and a man steers your life through empty promises based on your desperations? Aristotle spoke of the golden mean. In other words, the desirable middle between two extremes, the golden mean, the desirable middle between two extremes, one of excess and the other of deficiency. Self-mastery involves finding this balance and maintaining it through continuous effort and reflection. The Apostle Paul put it this way, in whatsoever state I am in, I have learned to make myself content. So if I'm single, and if I'm 30, or if I'm 35, or if I'm 40, or if I'm 50, I'm not gonna let no man sit here and tell me about I hit the wall and I'm over the hill and I've run off the cliff. You got to get angry when you even hear foolish stuff like that. You're not going to, psychologically manage me through hurtful rhetoric intended to break me down, to puppet me. Come on, somebody. Because I live as a queen conscious woman, I live with self-mastery. I'm self-regulated. And whatever state I'm in, I'm good. If I got to make less money, I'm good. I'll just adjust my lifestyle. Won't be as many shopping sprees. May not be any vacations for a while. I'm good. I'm self-regulated. My happiness, my sense of identity, my sense of worth is not based on who I'm with or what I have. I am self-aware and I'm self-mastered. I love what 2 Timothy 1:7 says in the New International Version of the Bible. It says, for the Spirit God rather gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. In the King James, it would say sound mind. Would have read like this, for the Spirit of God. For God does not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. When you know who you are, when you're self-aware, it means that you're plugged into the Creator's concept of you, the Creator's definition of you, which spills over into principle 2 of Queen Consciousness, self-mastery. You're able to discipline yourself. You're able to govern yourself. You're not out here fighting in the street, kicking off your shoes and all of this kind of stuff. No, queens don't do that. Queens are self-mastered. Can they do it? Yeah, they can do it. But will they do it? Not unless it's absolutely necessary. Queens are not going to be triggered into living below their standard. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Proverbs 25:28 reads like this. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. You cannot afford to be out here and to be a woman that is out of control. Can't do it. Can't do it. You can't do it. You will misrepresent yourself every time. A woman has to be self-mastered because a woman has to always maintain her dignity. And if you do not maintain your dignity, you separate the perception of who you are from the reality of who you are. You also create a perception around you that you lack the feminine essence, the feminine skills to qualify for the kind of man that you deserve. Gotta be self-mastered. You can't allow, listen, you can't allow a man to just come up and whisper some nice stuff into your ears, and there you are, all that, making all that noise and everything, and there he got you gone, and you know, come on now. You gotta be self-mastered, babe. Because if you don't master yourself, I promise you, the world will provide a master for you. Confucius says, he who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. I was watching some of the reruns of, what's that show called, man? Cheaters. I love stuff like that. Cheaters. They following people and catching them and all of that. And so this one man was providing for this lady, and he helped her get off drugs and all of this kind of stuff, and he was taking care of her. And so he discovers that she was cheating on him. She was bringing a man back to his house, sleeping with the man at his house in his bed. And so when they finally caught the woman and they confronted her, she blamed him. She said, you can't leave me home alone all these hours while you at work. You can't leave me home alone. I'm like, what in the world is this right here? This is the wrong woman. Run, Forrest, run. These people did you a favor. Get out of this situation. Good God Almighty. Confucius again says, he who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Jim Rohn says, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. If you don't master yourself, you will never see the best version of yourself. If you do not master yourself, you will never see the best version of yourself. You know, somebody was recently complaining to me about how they're not happy with their weight. And I didn't have anything to say, because, come on now. I mean, you're not happy with your weight. Okay, I get it. But the only person that can do something about that is you. And the person that I'm talking about, I know. They ain't doing nothing about it. But just constantly sitting there eating that stuff in your face with all this stuff here all day long. You ain't doing nothing about it. So why complain to me about it when you're not at a point where you're ready to do something about it? Because self-mastery, Jim Rohn says, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You're not going to accomplish anything beyond mastering you. All right, number 3, third principle of a queen-conscious, high-value woman is self-projection. Again, number one was self-awareness, which speaks to identity. Number 2 is self-mastery, which speaks to discipline. Number 3, self-projection speaks to confidence. Confidence is something a woman has to work on intentionally. You know why you have to work on it intentionally and you have to work on it every day? It's because the world around you is intentionally draining your confidence or attempting to drain your confidence every day. Every day. All you got to do is turn your phone on. There's something being said, there's something being done to drain the confidence of a woman. And to be fair, men as well. I don't want to get off subject, but it's sad to see what we've come to where women attack men, men attack women, and yet both can't live without one another. But since I'm talking to the queens today, you have to work intentionally on your confidence, your self-projection, how you present yourself to the world. The world will eat you alive if you show up as a damsel in distress. There's a balance. You don't need to show up as, I'm a strong, independent woman and I don't need no man. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. But you need to show up as a strong woman that can take care of herself. And a woman who is confident, a woman who is healthy, a woman who is whole, and a woman who is open for things that are dignified and proper. But you can't ever show up as the opposite, a damsel in distress. No. You can't do that. You have to project. Let me read the tenet for you. I will never be invisible in any space because I have presence. I make a statement without ever saying a word. You ain't got to be loud and brash. I will assert myself whenever necessary and will leave my mark with grace, humility, excellence, and kindness. You got to project yourself. You got to walk like you're it. You got to talk like you're, watch this, without being arrogant. You don't have to be arrogant. You know, when you're the boss, you don't have to be arrogant. You ain't got to, you know, real bosses don't go around saying, I'm the boss. I'm the boss. No, everybody know. And those that don't know, they'll soon figure out. And usually you can walk in a place and you can pick up on the air, well, the energy, let's say that. You can pick up on the energy of people and you can tell who's really in charge. And sometimes the people that are working for the boss are more arrogant about the access they have to the boss than the boss is. The boss is humble and polite and cordial and respectful, and it's the people that work around the boss that are arrogant and ignorant. Well, queen conscious women project that kind of energy. Self-projection is about embodying confidence and presence. It is the ability to make an impact through one's demeanor, speech, and actions. You know, you should show up in every room with your eyes wide open, with your head on a swivel, with a smile on your face, you know, with a hello, you know, a shaking of the hand, or however you might do it. But that should be the person you are. You should move through a room. Don't move through a room with your head down like I'm not supposed to be here. One young, I think he's a rapper or something like that, was invited to an event, and he walked in because he was so amazed to be around all of these stars, and he was walking around with his head hung down, and he tells the story of how a man slipped up behind him and whispered in his ear, act like you belong here. Act like you belong here. You're acting like you don't belong. Act like you belong. And when the man walked off, he noticed the man was Denzel Washington. You see, you're responsible for the way you project yourself in the earth. You can't be a queen on the inside and project peasant on the outside. That's why it's important. That's why, you know, in the father-daughter talk, we talk about dress code. You know, you don't have these books, go and get them from Amazon, because you don't want to have on attire that misrepresents who you really are. All of that's a part of your projection. And this concept is closely tied to the existential idea of authenticity. Authenticity involves projecting one's true self into the world, free from societal masks and pretenses. Self-projection. Pull the mask off, be you. Just be you. You know, like I got my beard dyed up because I wanted it dyed. You know, long as I wanted it gray, it was gray. Now, more than likely, I'm going to let this grow out, and it's going to turn, you know, gray again, and I'll probably let it stay there for however long I choose, and I might dye it again. I might decide to just keep it. But I'm projecting my authentic self to the world. I love what Matthew 5:16 says. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Let what? Your light. There's a specific light that you have. Let your light shine. 1 Timothy 4:12 says, do not let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Set or project yourself by setting a standard. Tell the world who you are. Don't let the world tell you who you are. Tell the world who you are. Don't let the world tell you who you are. Project yourself, sis. You're queen. You're the crown of God's creation. Man is the foundation of that creation, but you're the crown of it. You know how I know you're the crown of it? Because you're the crown of the man. You're the best thing God made. Project that. Pay attention to yourself. When you see yourself walking around with low self-esteem and low self-worth and just cowering, shake yourself, straighten yourself up, go in the bathroom, splash some water on your face. Snap out of it. Project yourself. You're the greatest thing God made, girl. I don't mean to call you girl. I know you all are women. Eleanor Roosevelt says, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Ooh! She preached right there. She preached right there. She preached right there. If I didn't have as much trouble pushing this chair back on this carpet, I'd get up and I'd dance. Not really, not really. Excuse me. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, to be yourself in a world, again, that is constantly lying or trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Self-projection. And then number 4, gotta hurry up, my time is running. Self-sufficiency. That speaks of independence. You can't be no woman out here, man. You know, I'm telling you, you just can't be no woman out here waiting on somebody else to take care of you. You got to be able to take care of yourself. You out here, you waiting on a man to show up. You waiting on a man to show up to take care of you, to pay your bills, to buy you a bag, to buy you clothes. You can't even go feed yourself. Man, look, you got to be self-sufficient. Now, if you're going to have a man, you need to have a man that has a job and has a desire to provide for you. And if you got a man that can fully provide for you, always know that you're in a position, that's something else we talk about in the father-daughter talk, always know that you're in a position to make your own money if you have to, when you have to. Because queen-conscious women are self-sufficient, even when they got husbands they can rely on and trust. My wife can rely on and trust me, but please believe she can take care of herself at any point. If I decided today, I'm out of here, homegirl can take care of herself, and that's one of the things I love about her, honestly. Listen to how the declaration reads. I am capable and I am motivated to trust God and to be the source for my life and its necessities. I will not beg or plead with inferiors to do for me what I will do for myself. I am self-sufficient. Now, self-sufficiency is the state of being independent and capable of meeting one's own needs. And this principle aligns with the philosophy which teaches self-reliance and resilience in the face of life's challenges. By trusting in God and one's God-given abilities, an individual can navigate life with confidence and without undue dependence on others. I love how Philippians 4:19 reads, and my God will meet all your needs according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. You got to stop depending on men, because when you're depending on men financially, that's how you end up in sexual situations that are beneath you. That's how you break your promises to yourself relative to abstinence and all of that. When you're having to depend, young women, and even doesn't matter what age you are really, put yourself in a position to be able to earn your own, where you don't have to trust in men, but you learn to trust in God, who will supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory. Isaiah 40:31 says, but those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Now, I love what Peter Drucker says. He says the best way to predict the future is to create it. The best way to predict the future is to create it. A Chinese proverb says this, the best, or he who depends on himself, will attain the greatest happiness. And then number five. The fifth principle of Queen Consciousness is self-actualization, which speaks of manifestation. In other words, what's in you, what's always been in you, Queen Conscious women manifest it. They bring it to the surface for the world to behold. Queen Conscious women are big on manifesting. They're not big on a whole lot of talking. They're big on manifesting, actualizing what God has put within them. Now, here's how the tenet reads, I will not bring the value I will not bring the value and gifts that God has given me to the grave. I will not waste my purpose and potential on secondary matters. Every vision, dream, and or assignment will be manifested. I will live my life for the complete expression of who I was created to be. I am becoming more every day. Self-actualization is the fulfillment of one's potential and the realization of one's purpose. Maslow's hierarchy of needs places self-actualization at the pinnacle, representing the achievement of personal growth and the full expression of one's talents and capabilities. This tenet is a call to live a life of meaning, guided by one's divine gifts and inner aspirations. I love what Jeremiah says in Jeremiah 29, where he says, where the word says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. One version says an expected end. There's a place that God has predestined you to arrive, but it's your job to self-actualize. God's put it in you, but it's your job to actualize it. Proverbs 16:3 in the English Standard Version says, commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. And when you do that, one portion says, give it all your might. And it's then that you will begin to see the manifestation of who you've always been on the inside, showing up on the outside. Ralph Waldo Emerson famously said this. I love his quotes. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. You see, God can predestine it, but you're not destined to become that person until you decide to be what God predestined you to be. You're the missing link. You got to participate in this process. Pablo Picasso says, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So these 5 tenets of queenology or queen consciousness encapsulates a holistic approach to personal empowerment and self-actualization for women. By cultivating self-awareness, self-mastery, self-projection, self-sufficiency, and self-actualization, women can embark on a transformative journey of self-discovery, growth, and fulfillment, drawing on the wisdom that comes from these principles. Now, my prayer is that you have gotten something out of this time of discussion and conversation today. By all means, please like and share this message on your platform. It helps us to, reach more people. These days, it seems like my message is being blocked. It's not, the algorithm is not really working in my favor these days. So the people that used to get it are not getting it like it used to flow. So I need all of the help I can get. Now, I need you to go to rcblakes.com, and I need you to sign up for the mailing list. And while you're there, go and check out the online program for queenology. I promise you, go and check out the online program for queenology. It will empower you to understand even the more some of the things we've talked about. Thanks to all of you who have sown into our lives. Lisa and I love you with all of our hearts, and we appreciate you so much. Don't forget, my birthday celebration is happening in July in the city of New Orleans. We have the formal affair, but we also have a brunch in Houston, Texas. And I think you should be able to get tickets for either or both of those events if you're desiring to attend. I'll be turning 60 years old, and I'm so excited about, just everything. In August, we are having our 2024 Queenology conference, and you just don't want to miss it. Go to RCBLAKES or go to queenology.net to get tickets for Queenology 2024. And guess what? I'm leaving, should I say we are leaving this week for Egypt. Lisa and I are going to meet so many of you from other parts of the world and the country. We're going to meet you in Egypt this week, and we are so excited about it. Man, we're going to get a chance to cruise up and down the Nile. We're going to have a hot balloon ride. I think I might try that. We're going to check out the pyramids, and it's just going to be an amazing time. It's hard to believe the time has passed so quickly. But we'll see you all in a few days, those of you that are coming with us to Egypt. Now, go to Amazon, pick up all of my books, and support the ministry in that way. And just know that Lisa and I, we love you with all of our hearts. You're on top and you're going higher. God has more in store for you. So we will see you at the top. God bless you. Until next time. Hey, before you leave, don't forget, if you need counseling, there's a link for BetterHelp Counseling in the description. God bless. Let's talk over the time to speak your mind. Let's talk about it with RCBLAKES.
We here at RCBLAKES Ministries want to thank you for spending this time with us today. RC and Lisa are always honored to have you with us. Don't forget to reach out to us by visiting our website at www.rcblakes.com. While you're there, you may join our mailing list and receive a free download of The Laws of Manifesting Your Vision by R.C. Blakes. Also look at all of the online programs by R.C. You may find all books written by R.C. and Lisa. Once again, all of us here at R.C. Blakes Ministries want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And as we always say, see you at the top.
Hello, family. This is R.C. Blakes, and I am so thoroughly excited. I'm excited because Queenology 2024 is coming back to Atlanta, Georgia, August the 23rd through the 25th. The host hotel is going to be the Whitley Hotel. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Women are literally coming from around the world. It is a multicultural, multi-generational, multiracial movement of women from around the world. And I want to invite you and yours to meet Lisa and I in Atlanta, Georgia at the Whitley Hotel, August the 23rd through the 25th for Queenology. For those that have the Royal Court package, it will afford you your entire stay for the weekend. It will also afford you a private, formal dinner with Lisa and I to open Queenology up. It also affords you admission to every event, everything that's happening for the entire weekend. Now, we also have the Saturday brunch and intensive package, which allows you to get into the brunch where Lisa and I will be sharing the messages that God has given us for 2024 to share with the ladies. This year, I'll have my own message, and Lisa will also have her very own message. It's going to be powerful. During the Saturday brunch and intensive, we're also going to have a very distinguished panel of men that are going to sit before the queens and answer the questions that women have always wanted to ask men. It's going to be amazing. Now, also those that are part of the VIP experience, there will be a time where Lisa and the ladies will gather in what they call, I think, the pajama party. And it will be a time where women will have conversation among women. I'm really excited about the culmination of Queenology this year because none other than the incomparable Dave Hollister is coming to be a part of our closing event, the all-white party. He's going to sing the Queenology theme song as well as entertain the ladies, the queens, for that evening. Queenology 2024 promises to be like none other. Those of you that want information, if you desire to be a vendor, queenology.net. Those of you that may need payment plans, queenology.net. Let nothing stop you from making your way to Queenology 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia this year. Tickets are going very quickly. I would love for you to meet us in Atlanta, August the 23rd through the 25th. Queens from around the world are coming. Queens from around the world are rising. It is going to be a coronation. It is going to be a crowning.